Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Big T Anderson. Today we're doing a fanfiction reading of Higuchimon's Surprise Chef. This is from the Digimon fandom. And, well, this is going to be a little bit on the shorter side, but I think it's going to illuminate something that's going to be a little bit fluffy. Some of the Pokemon fics we had this month, a little bit darker, so this will be kind of a nice little antithesis to it. Different series, a little bit fluffier, a little bit more love and happiness. You know what? You can't fight that. That's a good thing sometimes, so let us get into it. First, though, let me go over the rules. If you're new here, thank you for listening. I do appreciate it. I read fan fiction. In this case, it's Higuchimon's work, and if you like the author and you want to read more of their work, or you just want to give a review on this story in particular, links will be down below so you can do that. I would suggest that you make full use of those links. If you don't give a critique or a good review, they don't know what they're doing right or wrong. Now, with that in mind, this is Surprise Chef. Daisuke wanted to do something amazing for Ken and for their first anniversary. 5 years of actually officially dating one another, and it didn't look as if they'd stop anytime soon. The thought of waking up without Ken next to him wasn't one Daisuke wanted to think about, and the times he had to do it because one or the other of them wasn't there always made him uncomfortable and irritable. But those nights remained few and far between, and tonight was their anniversary, and the idea of cooking something that they both loved wouldn't leave Daisuke's mind. What he didn't like was the idea of cooking itself. He worked with ramen all day every day, and coming home to cook some more of it wasn't one of his better thoughts. He still managed to do it more often than he didn't, but tonight he just couldn't summon up the enthusiasm for it. He'd do it anyway, though. This was for Ken, and that made it all worth it. He opened the apartment door, and the first thing that caught his attention was a wonderful aroma that he automatically identified as steak. He hadn't had it enough to be familiar with it, but the scent remained unmistakable, mostly because it wasn't something he encountered very often. Daisuke took a few steps inside, absently removing his shoes as he did, and stared when he saw the table spread out with all the various dishes. On the other side stood Ken, wiping his hands, with a very satisfied gleam in his eyes. "Happy anniversary," Ken said, coming over to him when Daisuke didn't look like he was going to move at all. "Are you ready for dinner?" Daisuke's jaw worked as he tried to figure all of this out. Ken had made dinner. Ken had either not gone to work at all, or had come home early because all this would take hours to get, and he knew they didn't have any steak in the freezer. He kept a careful track of all their food, since he did more of the cooking than Ken did. But there it was, along with very good beer. Sliced and decorated vegetables and fruits changed so much that he couldn't identify what they were from a distance, and everything looking 10 times as perfect as he himself could have done if he had a month to make the attempt. He swallowed and forced himself to focus, bringing his gaze to meet Ken's eyes. He smiled. How could he not? "This is amazing," he said, wishing he could look at the beautiful spread and Ken at the same time. He decided on Ken. Ken was far more amazing than any delicious food. "You did all of this?" "Why not?" Ken pulled him over to settle next to the table. "You deserve the night off." Daisuke flushed a deep red before he kissed Ken passionately on the lips. Oh, happy anniversary. He'd have to think of something else to say later. After dinner. Okay, so obviously this is going to be one of the shorter ones. Now, why this one? Some people have an issue with short fics, with ficlets, with fluffy ones. This actually, if you look, this shows a character relationship between two of the characters. It shows how things change and move from point to point to point. And I think despite the size, it did that very well. We've all been there. For those who have read fan fiction, sometimes people will use 10 words where 2 will work. In this case, this person, Higuchimon, used 2. That's hard to do. I can't even say I do it like that. So I think that's why it's, it has the quality to A, do a reading, B, still be hold up. I can't speak English anymore. I tried. Anyway, let's just do this before my tongue spontaneously combusts. Links down below. If you like this story, if you like the author's work, give them a review, give them a read. Higuchimon has a lot of work. Higuchimon is like an OG fanfiction writer. I think more than 800. So very, very practiced. And you can see that, they use just enough words to get the point across. And whether it's long fix or short fix, I'm definitely going to be perusing. So, in any case, I do hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you have a good one. Ta-ta for now.